Welcome to week 2 of BIM for existing buildings. Let's recapture what we have learned so far in week 1. Up until now, you should be fairly familiar with the module documentation and all the supporting resources that have been made available within Moodle. You should also be aware of the overall indicative module content, as well as the assessment brief and the expectations from the coursework outlined for this module. You should also have added familiarity with the digital technologies that are being implemented in newly constructed buildings, as well as existing buildings from the research paper that was previously recommended as a post-sessional activity. This week's pre-sessional activity consists of a tutorial group presentation that examines the role of digital and technological innovations for building surveyors. Now, this is a formative presentation, one which every student is supposed to present, and this is something that should take no longer than 5 minutes. So you are not required to provide any presentation slides. You're simply required to talk about your understanding of the current digital and innovative technologies that are being applied in the building surveying sector. Today's lecture is going to cover a more in-depth look at the concepts and the content of the research paper previously alluded to in week 1. So the session will cover an introduction to building information modeling applied in facilities management, also an introduction to the facilities management performance measurement tools, and also a discussion of the various dimensions of BIM. I will also like to give you an overview of some of the previously outlined benefits of BIM and FM integration, both supported by the research conducted by academics, as well as the benefits alluded to by practitioners from industry. And we'll also give you an explanation of the contemporary developments around BIM and FM standards, and also offer an illustrative idea of a concept that is known as the knowledge-based feedback loop from BIM to facilities management data integration. Your post-sessional activity for this week will include a small minor task to be completed after your lecture. Now, this is to reflect upon the way in which individual stakeholders within the AECO practice, so this includes architects, contractors, clients, and facilities management team members, are affected by the way in which building information modeling could be implemented on existing buildings. Now, the way in which this can be assessed is by using the matrix that has been provided to you on the Moodle website. The idea is for you to fill out this matrix in accordance to what the facilities manager team member would expect to receive from the as-built BIM model. Now, this is something that will get you to consider what type of information or data could be accrued at each stage of a project development, and also to consider who would collate such information and what type of data or information could be collected from the various stakeholders. Now, you are going to be confined to the facilities manager's role. So the idea is for you to consider how a facilities manager or the facilities management team could provide additional relevant information to the earlier stakeholders that are developing that BIM model. Now, by earlier stakeholders, what I mean is the architects and the contractors, and perhaps even the client representative. The additional reading for week 2 is to review the document entitled Brief Guidance Note Number 2. Now, this is your coursework guidance that provides specific examples and also tries to outline the way in which you can develop a skeletal plan A skeletal plan is a very useful technique that is often adopted by researchers and academics in preparation for research papers or even by practitioners in preparation for a project document. A skeletal plan is something that we would highly recommend that you develop for your coursework assessment before you begin the formal write-up of the work. Now, this brief guidance note can be downloaded from Moodle under the section called Brief Guidance Notes. Thank you for listening.